Good day, everyone. I'm Hali Andrea Alcaraz from Telum Media. Today, we are speaking with Roger M. Garcia Jr., the founder, publisher, and editor of Metro News Central. Thank you so much, Sir Roger, for joining us today.
Thank you too, Ali. Yeah.
All right. So now let's discuss your journalism career. How did you start your career as a journalist?
I took a Bachelor of Science in Journalism. And even before I graduated, I was already pinch hitting, if you might call it, while in school as a reporter, as police reporter for the then newly established tabloid People's Tonight. This was way back in 1982. So I got some hands-on experience while in school, and since I was covering the police beat, in every reporter starts in what they call police beats, no. So since the newspaper is an evening paper, after my school, incidentally, it's an evening school. After that, I will immediately proceed to the headquarters of the Metro Manila Police Department, which named as Western Police District Headquarters. And there I'll be covering news while everybody's asleep. We are because our newspaper is an evening paper. Our deadline is like set at 5 in the morning. So we start covering from 10 o'clock to 5. We hover around the city, and I don't have to go into the details, but that's how I started as a police reporter. And then eventually, after graduation, I was asked by my father to join him in Zambales to help him with his business there. And on the side, I still pursue my love for journalism. That's why that was the time Inquirer was just opening. So I was the first national correspondent of Inquirer. I was covering Subic Naval Base, the American base there, and the city of Olongapo, including the province of Zambales. I was the senior correspondent for the Inquirer. And then it went on for about 4 years. And thereafter, I joined the City Hall of Manila, Quezon City, where I was appointed as the City Information Officer. So I went back to Manila to work with the city government of Quezon City under Mayor Brito Simon Jr.
Oh,
So that's how I started my journalism
okay, sir.
from way back in the 80s.
Okay. So after your work at the City Hall, sir, how did you get back into journalism? Because I think you also worked with Manila Standard and Business Mirror.
Yeah. After that, my stint in the City Hall, I went to continue with my uh, public information work. Then I moved to the Senate as a consultant of a couple of senators. And then I established my own, I established my own public relations firm. Yeah, for 5 years, I just focused on doing public relations. My specialty was crisis PR.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't do like ordinary,
Oh, yeah.
lifestyle or whatever PR or marketing. It's more on political. It's my my exposure after my stint with the Inquirer was more on the political public relations kind of thing. Business Mirror was looking for a property editor, real estate and property editor. Incidentally, I didn't mention to you that the reason why I was asked by my dad to join him in Zambales and in Olongapo because he was into real estate and subdivision development. So at an early age, also at the same time, I got hands-on experience on property and real estate development. Mirror asked me to join them because I was active with the couple of real estate organization, national real estate organization. It took me like 2 years to work with them, and then I transferred to Manila Standard. And after that, after another 2 years, I decided to just migrate to the United States to bring my family there. And when I came back a year, 2 years after, a year or two after, I don't know how to start again here. So I set up my own, what you call now Metro News Central.
Throughout
That's
your career po, since you covered a lot of beats from police to national news to property, throughout that span of your career, what beat did you decide to focus on?
well, we're not no longer talking of beat here since as an editor and publisher, I our paper covers a lot of areas, the beats, no. Now, when I work with the Business Mirror as property editor, I just focus on property uh, news and developments, national front, So yeah, there's no special beat, but as an editor, that's where I really focused on. It's a weekly section, both for Manila Standard and Business Mirror.
Oh, okay. All right, sir. Now let's talk about Metro News Central. What inspired you to establish this publication?
As we all know, Metro Manila is one of the largest metropolis in the world. It's composed of 17 cities with 13 million population. And it's the only metropolis as big as that doesn't have its own newspaper. Okay. Allow me to continue. Every cosmopolitan city has its own newspaper, like Metro Hong Kong, Metro Singapore, Metro Delhi, Metro San Francisco, Metro Chicago. They have the local, coverage for print. No? Aside from the local TV and national TV, there is what you call the localized print uh, media. So I was able to talk to some of the mayors, and they said, you know, the mainstream media, particularly the national newspaper, they only allocate at least at the very at most 1 to 2 pages every day for Metro News.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know,
Mm-mm.
and mostly its content is like more than half of it is crime related, sensational news. But the good things that we are doing in our respective cities, they're quite puzzled why they were scarcely see print. No matter how good the project is, no matter how newsworthy it is, as they say, it might come out, but just given a pittance of a coverage, like a small box there. Our vision is to, provide honest to goodness and interesting stories about, for each and every cities in Metro Manila, which is 17 cities. We're still working hard, no? We're still, much like any other news portal. It's a big challenge. It's not an easy task. You know how it goes when it comes to online newspaper business. You have to have, a respectable number of visitors, page likes, what have you, so that advertisers starts noticing you. But without that, it's still a big financial
Yeah.
challenge if you don't get the right number of followers and
Mm. Sir, you mentioned that the mainstream media, especially the national newspapers, they focus on crime stories when covering local news. So,
Metro
yeah,
Manila.
Metro News. Yeah. What topics does your publication focus on, or what topics does your publication cover?
Well, basically, it's more about the public service that is being done by the local government units, particularly social service, health, education, those things that people ought to know that there is their mayor or their local government is doing something that that would benefit its constituency. Now you would say, maybe Metro News Central is just being like a mouthpiece of each and every mayor. No, no. If you will go about our section, we also have one of the main sections that is included there is more about the voice of the people themselves. We call it Hoy Mayor, Hey
Uh,
Mayor.
Thanks.
Hey Mayor, what is this? We have this problem. What are you doing? So it's our way of it is not us criticizing or expressing not so favorable uh, things about the city. It's the people, the populace. It's our way of balancing our situation, and the mayor cannot blame us because we are not the one. We're not the ones who's expressing whatever negative or unfavorable or complaints, but it's their constituent who are talking.
Since you are the only publication focusing on local news in Metro Manila, what kind of stories, from based on your statistics, sir, what kind of stories have gained a lot of traction or readership online? Maybe Timothy and Marianne can also contribute to answering that question.
Yeah. Incidentally, we had a meeting the other week. We discussed about some sort of uh, qualifying what are the topics that are mostly read by our readers. Maybe Timothy and Mary give
Go
you the
for
details about it.
it.
Actually, for the content, sir, we have traction mostly for social services this past few weeks. Since LGUs are focusing, sir, on their social services and then helping on citizens, mostly the traction that we are receiving right now for our site is LGU projects for social services to their constituents.
All right, thank you guys. So since you led a PR firm before and now you're doing consulting, what tips can you give for PRs who want to pitch stories to Metro News Central?
Well, let me just tell you, I don't know if I have to say this, but there has been no significant change or radical change in terms of the setup or the kind of process that PR companies or the respective representatives are sending out their materials for publications to various newspapers or media outlets. But in terms of the quality of news, I would suggest it's just always like a straightforward kind of thing. No? And and they don't really consider that their particular material will gain some traction for the newspaper in terms of readership. In other words, they have to do it. They ought to do it. Their materials to become more interesting read. You know, so it's just like an announcement or something. Yes, we do accommodate this kind of basic press releases. But one thing I can also advise, since most of the stories that comes out in, I'm not just talking about Metro News Central. All newspapers have their own online and Facebook or social media pages. Way before, the only way that people can get hold of the news stories for the day is to buy a newspaper. Now it's a different story altogether. You get global news in a click of a finger. You get all the network news from radio to television to print. We just a click of a finger or just visit their site. Your reader now is given so much options. So in terms of uh, evaluating or appreciating the news that these media organizations are coming out with, the PR materials should take into consideration that this is not just a straight news kind of thing. That their material, if ever we feature it, it will be out there in the open, in social media, in other uh, digital sections or what. So they have a broader readership now in market.
Thank you for the tips. Now, do you have any editorial focus for the coming year, 2024, for Metro News Central?
Well, this is a continuing work in progress as we have been trying our best to really, improve. We're not just talking about our competition. We're talking about how we can really serve our market. So we're thinking of what it's in the pipeline now that we will be coming out with 2 or 3 more sections that would focus on the generational kind of thing, the Gen Z, the
Millennials.
millennials, and all that.
Okay.
So, ganun. There's got to be something that would propel the interest to visit, to participate, to know more about. And that's what we are hoping, that we should be able to cater to so that eventually Metro News Central will become a total media news and information portal for everyone.
All right. Thank you po. Now, down to our last question, Sir Roger. What tips can you give to journalists and even content creators in the media industry to ensure that they are producing accurate and engaging stories?
You're talking about reporters or writers.
Yes, for reporters.
Aside from doing some self-study, before you even write, doing some research. If you're really bent on writing on something, especially if it's a bit controversial or meaty that you want to, or investigative, you have to study, you have to read, you have to get, uh, you have to be prepared before you even do the first task of interviewing your target uh, speaker, or and then uh, you need to do not just one interview. You need to get direct quotes to support, you know, your story. Other people are talking or confirming the angle that you are developing or the issue that you are writing about. So that is important. Attribution, the direct attribution interviews, and then your research, some inputs from your research. That in general, you are providing your reader, this is not just like ordinary news. This is not fake news. This is based on research, studies, and interviews. And that's the only way you can come up with quality reporting. Now, it's a different story altogether. If you're just writing like a lifestyle or or travel kind of thing of story, but still, it has to be supported with facts, real facts, and also direct attribution to whoever you want to be talking about your story. Even it's that light, meron pa rin, there should be. So, that's the only way, that's the only thing I know about, because I'm a reporter myself before. So, the problem now is I don't want to antagonize the young writers, but they really need to come up with factual and well-researched materials before they even think of writing.
All right. Thank you so much, Sir Roger, for your tips for PRs and as well as for journalists. Now, that ends our interview. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Timothy and Marianne, for joining our Telum Talks to interview with Roger Garcia.